Here we go. Hey, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Extra Feature. To have a fabulous guest whose film is available on Tubi in USA only. So we'll take a few minutes if in Canada to find it. Chadrick Whitmire is here. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Let's start at the beginning. Why this storyline? Like, was this something you just occurred to you? Was this something you're interested in? Why a serial killer?
Oh, well, since I was a kid, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has always been my favorite movie. And I wanted to write movies. What really got me the most wanting to do it in my life was in 1996 when I went and saw the movie Scream. And then I found out who Kevin Williamson was. And I just kind of fell in love with that aspect.
Fascinating. So Scream led you to Malcolm, is what I'm
Well, what
hearing.
led me to Malcolm was somebody had asked me to write something for him,
Right.
and I ran into him at a screening event for a trailer that I was getting screened. And one day, it's just like with anything I write. I sit down at my computer and I come up with a name, and then I build off of that and build
Really?
on.
So
That's
you
how
don't
I.
have the idea, you go by a name. So if I said, I don't know, a man runs through an alleyway with a knife, just for sake of a name, you built your story that way?
Yes.
That is fascinating. So,
So I came up with this character Malcolm, and or this name Malcolm, and then I turned it into him being a schizophrenic serial killer because I
fascinating.
I have some issues myself, and I was also volunteering for an organization called NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and I just kind of started writing movies kind of revolving around mental illness, and that's kind of how that started.
Interesting. So I hate to ask this, but I'm going to ask a little bit. Did you draw stuff from the people you were dealing with?
And that at that time I wasn't in NAMI. That was just
Oh,
something, but I ended up in NAMI and doing stuff. I was a facilitator for their group sessions.
fascinating. Oh, okay. That explains. Okay, now I'm going where you're going. Okay, so as you're writing about your characters, do you have a vision of your character, or is it just this as a name? Malcolm is just a name. These people are all names, or do you know what you type of person you're looking to play that character?
Well, the way I think about it is like I wrote. Okay, I'll give you an example. I wrote a screenplay called The Butcher. It was for me to prove to myself that I could write a feature film, and I came up with this one character, um, and his name was Tom. So I was like, Tom. And then in my head, I'm like, okay, he's a Caucasian male around 30 years old. And in the situation, I was imagining him running. And then I kind of built off of that.
That is the most fascinating thing I've ever heard from a writer, just to go from that. So when you're doing settings and those kind of things, like in your movie, obviously you have sets of some kind. Do you have those sets nearby? Like, I know that house I'm going to use. I'm going to know that I'm going to use.
Well, when I write stuff, I kind of write for what I have.
So the
So,
locations in this movie are locations you have access to, no problem then.
yes, yes. And thank you so much that I have a good friend. His name's Rick, and he lets me film at his I filmed a proof of concept video at his house, and my next movie that I'm doing called Lance Reed's Final Play, it's going to be filmed at his cabin up in Cleveland, which is in Georgia.
Fascinating. So, when you're an independent filmmaker, does Georgia give you film credits or anything? Because I know I see them a lot. You get nothing.
I mean, I don't know much about that aspect of it because I've
Okay.
never. I just write something, assemble, do all the producer work.
So I want to back up that. You gloss over way too quick for me. You said you do all the work. So we have a script. You've written your Malcolm script. You still got to
Okay.
find an actor. You got to find these locations, and
Well, I
you
already
got a
knew
lot of
the
things to
character.
do.
Yeah, I already, and when we wrote, or it was originally a short film that was
Okay.
Changing Malcolm. So if you see the Changing Malcolm that we have in the feature film, it's not the same one that we originally had as the short film,
Okay.
but it is the same lines and everything in that aspect. But some things in it don't happen. It's well, you see, the other one had a few more things in it, and it was filmed at another location.
Okay. Who's
But
your actor then? Let's get. That's what I'm looking for. How'd you find your actor?
the way I found the character Malcolm, I wrote that for him.
Oh, so you knew him ahead of time.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. And the locations you had, like you said, your buddy gave you. So,
Well, for Malcolm, not at that point in time.
oh,
Um, for Malcolm, I used my recovery center because I've been sober from alcohol for 5 years as of
so
April
that's the
5th.
place at the end. That's the very end, the last third of the film. It's a recovery center.
Yeah, it's where the thing where the psychiatric hospital is.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we filmed like where it was supposed to be like college. We
Yes.
filmed it there too in a book room kind of thing.
Okay. And I did quite enjoy the scene when Malcolm does things. I quite like it, but I wanted a little bit more blood. Does that make sense? I found it a little light on the blood aspect. Was that just due to cost?
No, we just it's just however it came that kind of felt right in the moment. But I didn't. The most blood I think we had in it was in Chasing Malcolm, I believe, at the very
Oh,
beginning.
okay. So, as a director, how do you set these things up? Like, do you know your shots? Because you're writing it, you're telling me, well, already from an idea, and you've written it. You already knew the guy who were casting as Malcolm. So, when you're directing it, do you knew what you wanted already? Like, you were like, boom, that's what I want. Let's do it. Or was it a little more in depth than
I
that?
do like that, but I always like to gather everybody else's opinions too. If
Okay.
anybody has one, I'll take it in consideration, and then we can go one or two ways or whatever way. Somebody else says, "Oh, well, I got this idea." Like the nastiest scene in the movie, for me, was when Deacon came out and what Deacon did, and that was improv by the actor. So it's like if somebody has a good idea, I'll we can roll with that. So I'm not
In-
strict to it.
Interesting. But in the writing process, I guess what I'm looking for, you've written a scene a certain way, and the actor does it a different way, which you like. I'm not saying you don't like it. How does that feel as a writer? Does that change you for your next script?
No, I like when people come and they have a vision of what the character is on their own. And if I don't like something, of course I'll address it.
Of course,
But
with the
the
director, you get to
but the
decide.
reality of it is normally everybody has a good idea.
Oh, interesting. So, when you're directing your film, like, how do you deal with problems? Problems will pop up. I mean, you have no money in your film. I mean, not saying you didn't spend money on it. I just meant you're very low budget.
Yeah.
So, how do you organize your day? How do you get that stuff organized?
Oh, to be honest with you, it's like when it does happen, I can't believe it actually happened. That's how it is.
That's fair.
That's the reality of it. But no, the way it all goes is like communicating with the director of photography. That's always good, and they have an idea. We'll put our heads together. Um, so going into it, like this month, I'll have a meeting with my director or my cinematographer, and we'll break the script down, get everything ready, and then be as prepared. You got to be as prepared as possible. Uh, so the only thing I don't do is have like backup actors.
Well, I don't think that's, as an indie filmmaker, I don't think you can have backup actors.
I mean, you could in a sense, but I don't. I never have. So everything just kind of starts flowing once I'm like, okay, call time's 10 a.m. and then we set up and we start around 11 and then we cut for break and food at about 3 or 4 o'clock. So this is how I'm setting up for my next one, which is July 26th. And it's going to be kind of like Malcolm, except those chapter things that chop it up. I'm just going to have everything ran together like a normal, like a
Let's
normal feature film.
discuss the chapter things.
Okay.
How did you feel about them? I said personally, it interrupted my flow. I really wanted it to flow a bit more because I found I
Hmm.
didn't need I don't mind the chapters. Maybe you had them for a reason. So let's ask, what was the reason for the chapters then?
Okay. The reason for the chapters is we made that movie in a 2 year time period,
Oh, okay, that's important to know.
which that's not going to take my next one that long. Well, I'm not going to be shooting it. I'm going to be shooting it just like we did and broken up like that in different days. But the chapter breaks is what I wouldn't have anymore. But that's how I had to do it. It was my first one, and to get the job done and to be able to afford to make the movie, which later we ended up getting, a producer that took care of the each one we used to call. It started out as a web series.
Okay, so okay, you gotta give me a lot to work with. I want to start. Okay, let's discuss the web series. So you shot off, I think it's 5 or 6 chapters. I'm trying to remember now. Now you
Yeah, it
put that
was.
up weekly, monthly. How did that work?
We were doing it every like 3 to 4 months,
Okay.
and we were getting together and getting them. But once we got the producer, everything went quicker, and we were able to shoot a beginning, shoot an end, tie up some things in the middle of it.
Okay. I'm still going. So the web series, how did this work? Obviously, we have the beginning when you have to film first, or you didn't film that first.
No, what was filmed first was the original Changing Malcolm. If I can find that Changing Malcolm, the original one, I'll send it over to you.
That'd be awesome. I just want to go back to the web series. I'm fascinated by how this worked.
And
So
that was
where
the
did
first
it show
episode.
up? Did it show up on YouTube? Did it show up on your site?
It was on YouTube. We had it on YouTube.
So
We did have um, we did have like streaming services from people that wanted. That's where that's when I first learned about people trying to take advantage of you in this industry.
100%, that does exist. Okay, so it goes up on YouTube, you have viewers. So you shot it out of order then is what I'm trying to understand?
Well, we did the web series as like chapter one, chapter two, chapter three, chapter four, like that. And then once we had all that footage, we went back and shot a beginning, reshot Changing Malcolm in entirely, and then put an
Okay.
ending with it.
Okay, now I got it. So it's all together, and I you can find it on Tubi, obviously. Okay, I got that. Now
Yeah,
you said it took 2 years to do this.
we made it in about 2 years.
So how did you find your actor? I mean, so your main actor had to be available occasionally, unavailable. Was that part of the problem, or was it money issues, or why did it take so long?
Why did it take so long is because, yeah, it was some money stuff, but um, he was working and doing other stuff, going out of state. So yeah, you're right
So
about that.
I'm just asking. It's just interesting to me. So on your next film, doing this, obviously you're going to sign, I presume, sign somebody up for, hey, I need you for 10 days. I need you for a week. I need you for 2 days, whatever it is. Is
Yeah,
that
it's just gonna
the
be a
step
one
going
day shoot.
forward?
What now?
That's the step going forward. We're just going to have it all in one shot to make your life a little easier.
Yeah. July 26th, we'll shoot the first one, but I'm not going to call it anything other than Lance Reed's final play.
Yeah,
And
which is fine.
so, but yeah, it won't take as long as Malcolm did. But I don't think I have anybody. Well, I mean, I have tons of different actors that want to be in it and stuff. And I used to kind of sometimes I always love to put out a casting call
Hmm.
and then watch the videos. I always really love doing that. But now I kind of like got to know some people, and then I like to handpick everybody now.
I think me and you are very similar that way. I like when people send me films saying, "Hey, do you want to watch my film?" So I like when people send me stuff. So okay, so let's go back to Malcolm. So 2 years to film this. Did you edit as you have it up on YouTube? You've edited. You reshot the beginning. So basically, the chapters you didn't have to do any editing. You just put it all as one group together.
I didn't edit it.
Oh, okay.
Um, there's a guy that was the cinematographer for the majority of them, except for like the beginning part, um, and then reshooting that changing Malcolm. Um, sorry, what was the question again?
Okay. Your editors edited the film. I got that, right?
Yeah, I didn't do that.
So, as a director, did you go look at the final edit and ask for changes, or were you happy with it?
No, we were very happy with it. Um, there was I don't think he really had too many issues doing it. I just know that it would get edited in the very end. Everything got edited together, and then another thing that kind of we had used sound effects and this, that, and other that apparently we couldn't use. So that was the only thing that really sucked for the editor the most, I believe. And like kind of a setback for a few minutes for us was when we realized we had to go and purchase um, online, like through a company. What was it called? Artlist. I want to
I
say it was
can't
called
help you on this
Artlist.
one. I would help you if I could. This one I don't know.
Oh no, it's fine. But I'm pretty sure it's Artlist, and we had to redo the sound effects and stuff and the music.
So, as a first-time director, what would you say to new first-time directors that you would say, "Hey, don't do this"?
Um, First time direct. What I would say is, if somebody is meant to be an actor, let them be an actor, and don't make them a partner or producer.
That's fair. I think that makes sense. I think, at least in most of my experiences, a one-trick pony is better than two. And I think that just works for anything. So going forward, so you're going to do that. So how did you promote Malcolm? Like I said, I mean, you've spent 2 years, you had the web series, so you had obviously some fans from there. So how
Yeah, we
did you
had
promote your film to go to Tubi? Did you say I'm going to Tubi or you just dumped it there? Because the process
I
was
just
so long.
we had a billboard at one point. That was one thing that we did from marketing. But we put it on Film Hub, and then it got picked up by different uh platforms.
Where was the billboard located?
It was in Flowery Branch, Georgia, off of exit 8, which is called Lanier Lanier something. It's exit
Interesting.
8. That's all I
I love
know.
it. I love it. I think I've never heard of that. That's fascinating to me. So, how did you find your whole cast? I mean, obviously, you told me you had the real actor, Malcolm, but you have cops, you have a recovery guy, you have victims. Where did you find them?
Me and the main character pretty much like he had some friends that were in it, and then I picked some people like handpicked people that I really liked, and then reached out to
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to move on to fun questions if that's okay for you.
them. Okay.
Okay. You told us your favorite film was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Do you have a second favorite film?
Probably, oh gosh, I've never really thought about that. I don't want to say Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, but it's I
You're
could
more than
watch it.
welcome to. If that's
Um,
your choice, that's your
but
choice.
probably Scream.
Okay, fair enough. Second question. Underseen horror movie that you recommend.
Hmm. Oh gosh, there's so many of them.
It's true.
Oh, there's a lot.
Give me a couple.
Um, I know. Speaking of me wearing this Terrifier shirt, um, if you've seen All Hallows Eve before, it's like where Art the Clown first comes onto the scene.
I have not.
That's a good one, but it just because I'm wearing a Terrifier shirt, I thought of that movie.
Fair
But
enough. Last
I've seen
question.
Terrifier.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
go ahead.
ahead. Your
Oh
favorite
no, I
Scream
was just
movie.
playing.
Which one's your favorite?
Which one's my favorite out of the Scream movies?
Yeah, there's like seven of them, I think now. Six? Six or
Yeah, I think
seven.
they're coming out with number seven. Um, the first one, hands
Uh,
down.
I'm a big fan of two. So
Two's good, don't get me wrong,
I'm a
but
big
I
fan of
love
two.
the original one.
Oh, I love the original two. I just love two. I'm gonna let myself people away because they introduced me to Peeping Tom. And I had never seen Peeping Tom until I saw Scream 2. So after they mentioned it, I went and watched it and loved it. So I always have a soft spot for Peeping Tom because of that. Well, everybody, his film is available on Tubi. Do you have something else you would like to promote, a website or anything?
Well, I have Instagram, it's at Whitmire Chadrick. I have a TikTok, it's Chadrick Whitmire 3. On Facebook, you can find me just Chadrick Whitmire. Um, and my production company is called Chadrick Whitmire Films LLC, which is Chadrick Whitmire Films LLC at gmail.com. Um, and definitely look out for Lance Reed's Final Play because that's my next project, and everything is 100% a go
Well,
for
I have a
July 26th.
sneaking suspicion we might be talking about it on this show. So we can let
Awesome.
everybody in where to find it. So thank you for your time and have a great day.
All right. Thank you.